Okay, sorry about that. I got cut off a little bit. Apologize for the 15-minute limit on these videos. I'm going to reread this thesis back from the beginning because it's such a long and complex statement that I'm afraid it'll be too confusing if I try to pick up back where I left off. So, although some people believe homeschooling does not adequately prepare children for the social challenges they will inevitably face as adults, parents should consider homeschooling as a viable option over traditional school, keeping in mind the advantages of more personalized attention a child can receive in a customized environment, the ability to spend more time on topics of interest encouraging a passion, as well as the influence a parent or tutor can have on a child that may outweigh those of their peers. Homeschooling can provide the same preparation a child needs to be successful, well-adjusted adults. So here we have the surprising reversal statement of the counter-argument, the actual proposal itself, and the subpoints. This last statement is the only one that I think maybe could be worked into the thesis in a more comprehensive way. To me, this is an overall evaluation of the value of homeschooling based on these subpoints of what the advantages are that she lists out here. And so in that sense, I would actually move this before those advantages. To say something like, although some people believe homeschooling does not adequately prepare children for the social challenges they will inevitably face as adults, parents should consider homeschooling as a viable option over traditional school because homeschooling can provide the same preparation a child needs to be successful, well-adjusted adults, keeping in mind the advantages of more personalized attention, ability to spend more time on topics of interest, and the influence a parent or tutor can have. So then you really just have your counter argument, an overall proposal supported by an overall evaluation supported by these reasons. And so basically you would almost move through this part of the thesis in a backwards way in your overall essay. You would have your counterargument first, of course, in a surprising reversal paragraph right after the intro, but then you would move into developing why homeschooling provides the same preparation and go through your reasons here, here, and here, and then make that evaluation and then make your proposal before the conclusion. So I did pull out just a few tips I wanted to highlight for your thesis statements as you continue to revise. First of all, you only want to use surprising reversal for one counterargument, usually the biggest, most obvious, most controversial counterargument. If you use multiple counterarguments for surprising reversal, then you can run the risk of undermining your overall claim with the counterarguments, and you don't want your argument to get too bogged down in those alternative points of view right from the start. If a counterargument is big enough that it will be in your reader's mind right from the start, that's what surprising reversal is for. If it's going to be in their head anyway, you might as well address it. But try to just make that the biggest counterargument, or the biggest, at least, category of counterarguments, so that you can relatively quickly get into developing your points, and then the other counterarguments you can kind of address as they come up along the way. Also, don't forget to have a central claim attached to all of your points that kind of unifies, excuse me, unifies everything together. Even if you're making an evaluation that connects all your points together, usually that evaluation will lead toward a proposal anyway. Because, for example, if you're saying something is good or bad, then the audience might be led to think, well, then so what? What should we do based on your evaluation that this was good or bad? So it seems usually pretty logical to attach a proposal to any kind of evaluative or other types of subpoints or claims. And that will also give you a more weighty argument to use as you try to meet that 5-page length, or excuse me, 6-page length requirement. And I did want to point this out specifically because it's something that I noticed in almost every single one of your thesis statements, except for the ones I've pulled out here. Make sure that you are stating your argument in your thesis. I noticed in some of the surprising reversal threads this week that all you presented was the counterargument and didn't actually reverse it to your overall claim. So please make sure that the bulk of the thesis does focus on your central claim and the points to support that you're going to be developing in your body paragraphs. Don't let the counterarguments take over. Your thesis should only be 1 or 2 sentences. As we saw with some of the longer examples that I just pulled out, you know, it can be difficult to punctuate correctly. Remember that semicolons work just like periods, except that they bring the 2 independent clauses a little bit closer together. So anywhere that you would put a period, you could use a semicolon instead, and that would get your ideas into just 1 sentence instead of 2. Usually if there's an although statement at the beginning of your surprising reversal counterargument, however, you'll need to attach it to the thesis using a comma, because as I've mentioned before, although is a a subordinate conjunction, so it makes that surprising reversal statement a dependent clause. So it can't stand by itself. So you'll have to attach it to your thesis, which is an independent clause, hopefully using a comma. And then, as I've already said, avoid those first-person pronouns, I think, I believe, etc. First-person pronouns in general, like I, me, my, our, we, aren't really appropriate for a formal academic essay. And then likewise, if you ever say anything like I think or I believe, that can actually undermine your argument a little too much, because it's kind of like saying, well, this is just what I think, this is what I believe, when in fact you're actually trying to convince your audience to agree with you, so you don't want to qualify it that way. You want to say, you know, this is how it should be, not just because I think so. Okay, so I think those are the main things that I wanted to pull out and show you guys, but of course if you have any questions as we move through the rest of the week, please do email me with those. And then everything I had pulled out in the video this time was from your original posts. I know that several of you have posted comments, but I didn't pull those out here on purpose, just because I wanted to focus more on the original work that you guys had done. But let me just say, your comments this week have been amazing. Really, really some of the strongest comments I've seen all semester long. So several of you are doing a really good job pointing out ways that each other can reword their thesis statements, improve each other's thesis statements, revise your work, and that is the most constructive kind of feedback that you can get from each other as you try to learn from each other. So I really do appreciate that, and please keep up the good work as you finish your comments tonight and do your reflections for Sunday. Okay, have a great weekend, guys. Thank you.